Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Ty Metalhead Weatherman. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. You guys are safe and having a good Saturday. If you're at work, I'm hoping that your day will has been good and will, or is your work day is about to end soon. That being said, originally I wasn't even planning on making a video today. Things seemed like they were going to be pretty quiet, but as we know, the weather rarely ever tends to stay that way, and this day is no exception. So, get into this right away. Have two slight risk areas to talk about today. They were not there when I last looked up the convective outlooks earlier this morning. So a little bit has changed here. Risks aren't too crazy, but we also have a slight risk on Sunday, so we're going to cover both of those. But before I even get into that, we're actually going to talk about yesterday's severe weather event. Yesterday we had quite an event, believe it or not. We had a cold front that just sparked off a bunch of severe weather, and this stretches all the way from Illinois and Indiana all the way towards the East Coast. 741 damaging wind reports confirmed, along with 45 hail reports. And unfortunately, there were 2 fatalities in North Carolina yesterday, as well as several injuries in other states. But the reason I bring this up is this is why why all of us weather geeks, meteorologists, professionals, experts, all of us alike always say, do not sleep on damaging winds. Do not take them lightly, because they can do damage like a tornado and they can still cause a lot of harm, if not worse. So, that being said, we have 2 severe thunderstorm watches issued right now, one in Montana, another in Florida. Let's get into all of this, shall we? Okay, so our first slight risk is around Missoula, and the marginal risk actually stretches out towards Great Falls and Butte, but whichever one you want to call it, because I can't stop people from saying whatever they want to, pronouncing things however they want to pronounce them. But yeah, this is our first slight risk up here to the north. Tornado threat here is it's there, but it's not very high. I wouldn't really expect too much of anything, but the chance isn't zero, so don't be surprised if a spin up does happen. Of course, we will hope it will not. But the main topic there is the hail threat. We have not only a slight risk for hail, but we also have a chance for significant hail. So be on the lookout for that. If you have a carport, definitely put your car in it. So you can maybe limit those nasty hail bumps or hail dents. But there's also a hail threat in Florida. There is no tornado threat in Florida in the moment, but we all know how Florida tends to get. So take that with a grain of salt. The main story around Florida is the wind threat, and it's the same thing for this marginal risk that we have here that stretches from Mobile all the way into Tulsa. We talked about this area yesterday. Wasn't anything like super impressive to look at here, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that as well. The high wind threat is definitely prevalent around southern and central Florida. All right, so we go to day 2. And we have a slight risk that is once again issued for Montana and parts of North Dakota. This stretches from areas to the west of Glasgow into Glasgow and all the way into North Dakota, including the town of Minot. And this stretches all the way, gets close-ish to Billings, Montana, but doesn't quite get there. Marginal threat is stretching all the way towards Denver and areas in between. We also can include Rapid City, Pierre, and Sheridan involved. You also have a marginal risk in Florida. Pretty much for the western peninsula, we have Tampa and Fort Myers involved. Now we've gone over the threats. The main thing we'll be really going over here is the timing of everything. The tornado threat's minimal. The parameters are pretty low. So it would kind of be almost a waste of time. We already know what's going to be happening here for the most part. Also want to make mention of the pyrocumulus or dry thunderstorm threat that we have going on here, and also the the haboob threat or dust storm threat. There's going to be quite a few thunderstorms, some of which could be even strong around here. They definitely will have strong winds from the looks of it, based thanks to this little low pressure here. This character is going to be pushing these storms to the north, and these winds will be pushing out far enough ahead of the storm to where they could kick up a lot of dust, and sometimes maybe seeing these almost apocalyptic like dust clouds coming in the area. So be on the lookout for that as well. Now we take a look at the radar. Here are those storms I'm talking about to the west and around the Four Corners region. And then here's our upper level low that's going to be causing some storms to pop up here around western Montana. I don't expect this to last very long. I think probably by about maybe 9-10 o'clock the worst of it's over. Then we'll see this feature move over towards our next area of interest tomorrow and spark off some more severe weather, potentially in the late afternoon and overnight hours. I'd say right about, I don't know, I would say maybe 4 or 5 o'clock local time. I would say this is maybe mountain time, getting close to that central time area. Somewhere around then, that's when I would expect these storms to be rolling through. Could be a few pop-ups that form out ahead of it, but for the most part, the worst weather should be rolling in about 5 or 6 o'clock. Ooh, and look at that. We even have a little bit of snow on the backside of this system here from the cold air that's coming in behind it. So might want to keep an eye out around some parts of Idaho, mainly towards the higher elevations. And then once we go into Monday, we can't really get a good look that far out right now. That's all I have for you guys today. If you do happen to be under just a severe thunderstorm warning, definitely just stay away from windows. Try to get into an area where you're safe, because as we found out yesterday and plenty of other times before then, damaging winds are no less dangerous than a weak tornado. So that being said, this has been Ty, Metalhead Weatherman. You guys stay safe, and I will see you on the next video.